A recurring pattern in Roman history is the frequent absence of biological children or male heirs among the emperors. Within the Julio-Claudian dynasty, which included emperors Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero, none had biological sons. In the Flavian dynasty, only Vespasian had offspring, specifically his two sons, Titus and Domitian. The emperors of the Nerva-Antonine dynasty were childless, except for Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who had a significant number of children. Alongside this, among the emperors of the Severan dynasty, only Septimus Severus had children, notably two sons named Caracalla and Geta. Thus, it raises a question. Why did Roman emperors have so few children? First off, it is indeed true that for an extended period, most emperors were not followed by their biological sons as successors. However, it's important to clarify that many of these emperors did indeed have biological sons. Within the Julio-Claudian dynasty, Tiberius had both a son, Drusus, and a grandson, Tiberius Gemellus, who reached adulthood. Additionally, Claudius had a son, Britannicus. Although he didn't live to reach adulthood by today's standards, he did serve as an heir. In the Flavian dynasty, both Vespasian and Domitian had multiple sons. However, Nerva's ascension to the throne through a palace coup occurred before Domitian's sons could assert their claim to power. In the Nerva-Antonine dynasty, it's worth noting that Antoninus Pius had two biological sons, confusingly both bearing the name Marcus Aurelius, this being alongside the Marcus Aurelius he later adopted, who eventually became an emperor. However, by the time Antoninus Pius assumed the throne, both of his biological sons had passed away. Emperor Lucius Verus, on the other hand, had three sons, all of whom tragically died in infancy or childhood. As for the famous Emperor Marcus Aurelius, he had a total of 8 sons and 6 daughters. However, it is profoundly tragic to note that when he was writing his renowned meditations, only 5 out of his 14 children were still alive, and he had only just one surviving son. So the question seems to be not precisely why did Roman emperors have so few children, but rather, why did so few children of Roman emperors, especially sons, outlive their fathers? This can be attributed to 3 primary reasons. We are referring to a time when infant mortality rates were extremely high, as exemplified by the numerous children of Marcus Aurelius. The mere fact that Commodus reached adulthood can be seen as a miraculous occurrence, considering the character traits he displayed, which should have made him susceptible to a premature demise, which leads us to the next reason. Numerous relatives of the emperor had the habit of dying, often under dubious circumstances. A notable instance is the fate of Tiberius's biological heir, Drusus, who was assassinated by the Praetorian prefect before he could ascend to the throne. Later, upon Tiberius's demise, his grandson Tiberius Gemellus shockingly killed himself, creating an opportunity for the adopted nephew Caligula to assume power. Alongside this, Claudius's biological son Britannicus faced a similar fate. Britannicus was the favoured successor and even appeared on coins minted during Claudius's reign. However, upon Claudius's death, his fourth wife Agrippina seized power for her son Nero, and Britannicus experienced a sudden and mysterious demise, leaving no rivals to Nero's claim as the heir. Lastly, poorly regarded emperors also had a tendency to meet an untimely demise, often before they could father sons who could be old enough to potentially survive a coup. For instance, a 28-year-old Caligula was assassinated before he could have any sons, and Nero was overthrown and took his own life when he was just 30 years old. On the flip side, emperors who managed to reach their later years, such as Hadrian and Trajan, often had numerous offspring. Nonetheless, the unfortunate reality was that many of their children did not make it to adulthood, and even those who did, didn't always have a long life ahead of them. This has been me, Jack, and please make sure you wear protection to make sure you don't have any unwanted heirs in your future.